In 1970, U.S. Army infantry operating near the DMZ in Quang Tri province were hunting an enemy they rarely ever saw. Although elusive, 27 American soldiers would be killed before the combat operation was over. The jungle was thick and wet, and the men on those patrols were already breaking down. Their feet were rotting in their boots, and exhaustion was setting in, long before the shooting even started. In the northern reaches of South Vietnam, near the demilitarized zone, the war in the summer of 1970 was not marked by sweeping offensives or decisive engagements. It was quieter than that, more deliberate, and for the American infantrymen operating out of Fire Base Holcomb, it was constant. The men of the 1st Battalion, 11th Infantry Regiment, moved through an area known simply as A.O. Green, a stretch of jungle and broken terrain in Quang Tri province, where visibility was limited, movement was slow, and the enemy rarely revealed himself. Their mission was straightforward on paper. They were to conduct reconnaissance in force, disrupt enemy rocket positions, and maintain pressure through patrols and ambushes. But in practice, it became something else entirely. They walked for hours under the thick canopy. Patrols pushed north and south, sometimes finding signs of the enemy, fresh trails, discarded equipment, half-buried bunkers, but rarely the enemy himself. What they did find, consistently, was the harsh environment. The heat settled in and stayed there, trapped beneath the jungle canopy. Uniforms and equipment were rarely dry, either soaked through with sweat or drenched by sudden rain that turned the ground to mud. Boots stayed wet. Socks were changed when they could be, but not often enough to matter. Skin softened and broke down under the constant moisture. Jungle rot spread along the feet and between the toes, turning small irritations into open sores, and blisters formed, hardened, then split again under the weight of a full pack. Men cleaned their feet when they had time, wrapped them when they could, and kept moving anyway. Fatigue was steady and cumulative. Sleep came in short stretches, often broken by radio checks, perimeter watch, or the simple discomfort of trying to rest on wet ground. At night, insects moved in, mosquitoes, ants, anything drawn to heat and movement. Repellent helped, but only to a point. Contact, when it came, was sudden and usually brief. On one patrol in late July, a reconnaissance team found itself within 10 meters of North Vietnamese soldiers moving along a trail. Gunships were called in. And the engagement ended almost as quickly as it began. That pattern repeated itself again and again.
This is a field report from northern South Vietnam. U.S. Army officials report that early this morning, elements of the 1st Battalion, 11th Infantry came under coordinated attack near Fire Base Holcomb in Quang Tri province. The engagement began at approximately 3:25 a.m. when enemy forces opened fire with rocket-propelled grenades, followed by a ground assault estimated at platoon strength. American forces returned fire with small arms and called in artillery and helicopter gunship support. An AC-119 gunship was also deployed over the area. The attack was broken off just before 4:30 a.m. U.S. officials report 2 American soldiers killed in the action. Enemy losses are reported at 4 killed, with additional casualties believed to have been removed from the field. Military sources indicate enemy units operating in the area are believed to be elements of North Vietnamese Army sapper forces. This is one of several recent engagements reported in the region, where U.S. forces continue patrol and reconnaissance operations.
Ambushes were set along likely routes of movement, claymore mines wired and waiting in the dark. Sometimes they were detonated with no visible result. Other times the aftermath told a story. Blood trails, abandoned bandages, signs that someone had been hit but carried away. There were moments when the war came closer. In early August, a reconnaissance team reported a North Vietnamese soldier crawling toward their position, closing the distance to within a few yards before he was spotted. The team opened fire, and within seconds they were taking return fire from an unseen force. Mortars and gunships were called in. When it was over, 2 enemy soldiers lay dead in the brush. The rest had slipped away. Through August and into the fall, small units continued to move through the area, conducting daylight reconnaissance and setting ambushes at night. Contact was frequent, but rarely decisive. A patrol might exchange fire with a squad-sized element one day, then find nothing but empty jungle the next. The men operated in small groups, often far from immediate support, relying on radio calls to bring in firepower when needed. The distance between patrols could be measured in miles. Even routine actions carried deadly risks. In October, a resupply helicopter landed to deliver ammunition. As the cargo was unloaded, a concealed booby trap detonated, wounding several men and damaging the aircraft. Elsewhere, tripwires and buried explosives claimed casualties without warning. By December, the pattern had become like reflex. Patrols moved out. Ambushes were set. Contacts were made and broken. And still, much of the enemy force remained unaccounted for. There were no sweeping victories to report, no ground taken and held in any permanent sense. Instead, there was a steady accounting of attrition. By the end of the year, U.S. forces reported 242 enemy soldiers killed, and 27 Americans had been killed in return. It was a war fought at close range, often without a clear target, and for the soldiers of the 1st Battalion, 11th Infantry, it went on far longer than anyone wanted. Missions like this went on every day across South Vietnam, involving thousands of American young men. These soldiers deserve to be remembered for their courage and dedication to their country.
Hello. We here at Battle Docs would like to extend our thanks to the people who watch our videos. I think it's important that we remember these men and women who sacrificed so much for our country. We really appreciate you taking the time to be here. We'll see you on the next video.